Sairam everyone, and welcome back to our history class. We are doing our revision. So let's continue with our revision. Before we move further, in the last class we studied about an important event that took place. That is the tennis court oath. What is the importance of this event? What is the significance of this event? It is important because this was the place, this was the event where the people of Third Estate, they all gathered together and they took an oath that they will not disperse and they will continue with this revolt. And because of this oath, constitution was framed and the king Louis XVI was forced to accept this constitution. So this was a very important event. Let's move further. Okay. In the morning, see, there are many events that took place. Only one event was not the result of new democratic government. There were many reasons for it, many events for it. Okay. Now what happened in the morning of 14th July? The city of Paris was in the state of alarm because the king had commanded his troops to move into Paris. There were a lot of rumors. And what was that rumors? That king now would soon order his army to open fire on the people of Paris, on the common people. Nearly 7,000 men and women, they gathered in front of the town hall. Okay, they made their own group. They made their own military. And what did they do? They broke into number of government buildings. Why they broke into number of government buildings? In search of arms. They wanted arms to defend themselves. Okay. Now, a group of people, a group of several hundred people, they marched towards the eastern parts of Paris. Okay, and they stormed the fortress Bastille. Okay, it was Fortress Bastille. There was a prison. Okay, Bastille was said to be the symbol of despotic rule of the king. It was a symbol of inequality, injustice, cruelty of the king. So people just stormed into it. Okay, they thought that they will find there some ammunition, some arms over there. Commander of the Bastille was killed, and all the prisoners. There were not many prisoners at the time in Bastille, but there were few. All these prisoners were freed. Okay, they were released. Everyone hated Bastille. Okay, because I told you it stood for as a symbol for the despotic power of the king. And what happened? They didn't get any arms and ammunition. The guard was killed. And finally, this Bastille was demolished by the people. This is very important event because no one dared till now to speak or go against the king. Now, this fortress itself was destroyed. It was the biggest event in the history of France people. Okay? Yeah, children, revolt or revolution was taking place in many parts of France. Not only in the main cities, but in the villages too. People started revolting against this absolute power. In many villages, people attacked the chateaus. What are chateaus? It is a big manor, big house of a rich landlord or a noble. People started attacking the chateaus. What did they do? They looted grains. All important documents were burnt by the people. Nobles got scared. And many of these nobles, they wanted to save their lives. So they just escaped, left their homes and took shelter in the neighboring countries. Many people, they were with arms, whatever implements they had, implements that were used for agriculture, for farming, they took those implements and they attacked the chateaus, the manor of the nobles. Somehow many nobles, they managed to escape. Okay, and they took shelter in the neighboring countries. Revolt was taking all over France. It was the king, Louis XVI, was finding it very difficult to put down this revolt of the people. And finally, Louis XVI had no other option. Okay, he accorded recognition. He gave recognition to the National Assembly. You know now who are the National Assembly? The third estate people who took oath in the tennis court. He recognized this National Assembly. He also accepted the principles that his power would be checked by a constitution. Now, on the night of August 4th, that was in the year 1789, this National Assembly passed a decree, or you can say a law. What was that law? This law, according to this law, the feudal system of obligations and taxes which they were collecting, these nobles, this clergy, they were collecting taxes from the third estate people, from the peasants, from the artisans. Okay, so this system of obligation and taxes were abolished. Okay, these clergies, they were forced to give away all their privileges. They were forced to give away their privileges. Also, tithes. It was a type of tax. Who used to collect these tithes? The church people. These tithes were abolished, and the land that was owned by the church was confiscated. So this is what happened. Now, I'll move on to 1791. In the year 1791, again the National Assembly completed drafting the constitution. They completed their constitution, drafting their constitution. And what was the main objective of this constitution? To limit the power of the monarch, of the king. Thus, the powers were now separated. The king was brought under control, his powers were now limited, and also these powers, all the powers rested in the king's hand. He was the one who took all the decision. Now, he had only limited power. You can see he was there only for the name's sake. And these powers were now divided into different institutions. And I did mention to you about this. What were these different institutions? Legislative, executive, and judiciary. This type of government we have in India right now, we are following the same thing. We got this inspiration, this idea from this form of government, from this idea from France only. Not only we, many other countries too. Okay, so now these powers were divided into different institutions, and the powers of the king was brought under control. He had only limited powers now. The Constitution of 1791 gave the powers to the National Assembly to make laws. Okay, this National Assembly was indirectly elected. I'll tell you how indirectly. That is, citizen voted for the group of electors, and these electors further elected, further choose the assembly members. So they were indirectly elected, National Assembly. Okay, now who got this right to cast their vote? Who got voting rights? Only men who were about 25 years of age, and also 25 years of age, about 25 years of age, and also who paid tax that was equal to 3 days wage of a worker. Yes, of a worker. And these people who paid tax were called as active citizen. And only this active citizen had the right to vote. Got it? People who were about 25 years of age, who paid tax that was equal to 3 days wages of a worker, they were called as active members or active citizens, and only they got right to vote. The others, like the other men, the other women, all other men and all the women were classed or grouped as passive citizen because they did not pay any tax. And this passive citizen, they did not have any right to vote. Okay, now to qualify as an elector, and I told you the people elected the electors, casted their vote to elect the electors. Now to qualify as an elector and the member of assembly, a man had to be the highest taxpayer. So even this constitution did not give anyone, not everyone, a right to vote. Okay, now this constitution begin with this constitution began with declaration of the rights of man and citizen. Man, you're getting me? Man of citizen, not the woman. Man and citizens. Rights such as a right to life, freedom to speech, freedom of opinion, then equality before law were established as a natural and inalienable rights. That is, no one can change or take away these rights from the citizens. Now, in the following years, situation in France continued to be tensed. Although Louis XVI, the king, had signed the constitution, he accepted the constitution. His powers were limited now. He did not enjoy all powers. His powers were limited now. He accepted that. because he did not have any other way out. So what happened was, he never wanted to give up his powers. He never wanted. So secretly, King Louis entered negotiation with the king of Persia. Okay, and with Persia I'm talking about, neighboring rulers, okay, were worried about the situation in France because they were scared. Because people in their country, they will also be provoked or by the French people, and they will also revolt against their king. So they were worried what was happening in France. They decided that they should send troops to put down this revolt, this revolution in France. But before they could send army, the National Assembly of France declared war against Prussia and Austria. Why Austria? We all know that wife of Louis XVI, she belonged to Austria. Okay, so they declared war on Prussia and Austria. Thousands of people formed army. Everyone. People want to be the part of the army. Okay, and they saw this as a war of the people against the kings, against the autocratic ruler. The Revolutionary War brought losses and also economic difficulties for the people of France. As the men, they were fighting in the front. They were fighting wars in the front. The women, they came forward and took care of their family. They earned livelihood for their family. They had to earn to take care of their children and other family members. They started working. There was not a financial problem. The men were not with their family. Then too, many people of France thought that this revolution had to be carried forward further. This revolution should not stop. It should continue. Because the Constitution of 1791, it gave political rights only to the richer section or the rich people of the society. Many, clubs, political clubs played a very important role at the time. Many political clubs played an important role in this revolution. People, they discussed about government policies over there. They also discussed their own plans, how they are going to work against the government, what actions they are going to take against the government policies, what are the steps they are going to take against the government. This all was planned in the clubs. Jacobins. The Jacobins was the most successful club. Even women too formed their clubs. Even they had their clubs. They were also very active revolutionaries. Now, let's talk about the members of Jacobins, this club. The members of the Jacobins club belong to less prosperous section of the French society. They were shopkeepers, artisans, such as shoemaker, pastry cooks, daily wage workers. Okay, now can you see who is he? Maximillian. Yes, he is Maximillian Robespierre. He was the leader of Jacobins. Okay. Now the Jacobins decided to wear long striped trousers till ankle length. They decided that they will change their dress. Okay. They decided to wear now long trousers. Okay. Similar that was worn by the dock workers over there in France. They did so because they wanted to set themselves apart from the fashionable, that is the rich sections of the society. This people, these rich sections, they wore knee breeches right now. So they wanted themselves to be separated. They wanted that they should be recognized, and so they changed their dress and they wore the full trousers. Okay, this Jacobins, they were also called as sans culottes. Sans culottes means those without knee breeches. They were not wearing knee breeches. No? And they also wore a red cap. This red cap was the symbol of liberty. This red cap symbolized liberty. However, women, they did not have any change in their dresses. They wore whatever was worn by the French women. It was the summer of 1792. On the morning of 10th August, this Jacobins, another important event took place on 10th August. What happened was, this Jacobins, they stormed the palace of Tuileries, where the king and queen along with their family stayed. They massacred these guards of the king, and the king was held as hostage for several hours by the Jacobins. Later, the National Assembly voted to imprison the royal family. Now the king was behind the bars in the prison. Now elections were held. Yes, elections were held. And in this election, changes were brought about. What was it? All the men who were 21 years and above, of age, were given the right to vote, regardless of their wealth, whether they are rich, whether they are poor, whether they own land, whether they belong to any state. An individual who is 21 and above got the right to cast their vote. Children, for revision, we will stop over here. But I would just like to discuss a few points as you're going to have your first periodic test very soon. And I'm sure you all are preparing for it. Okay? See, as far as history is concerned, social studies in fact, you have to be thorough with your textbook. Your textbook should be your Bible. When I'm saying you should be thorough with your textbooks, that doesn't mean that you have to learn by heart whole lesson. No. I mean to say is, you have to understand the matter of the lesson and just memorize few events along with their years. Then it will be possible for you all to attempt any type of questions. And surely you can attempt. It will be easier for you to attempt these questions, any types of questions. So today, we will discuss about different type of questions that we are going to have for our exam. Let's begin with this one. Look at your monitor. Head question is put up. Observe the given picture and say what it signifies. Children, in your textbook, in this lesson, we have many pictures. Okay? Small explanation about that picture is written below it. What that picture says, or what it signifies, or what it wants to say, or what it is related with, it is mentioned over there just below the picture. So what you are going to do is, you are going to observe each and every picture and read the given information given below the picture. So here in exam, you will be given a picture from your textbook, and right now see one picture I have given you, and here are the 4 options which I have given you. So what you are going to do is, you are going to identify the correct option. What does the picture, what you see on your monitor, signifies, tells us. Okay, so here 4 options are there, A, B, C, D. Woman queuing up at a bakery, women waiting outside the assembly, women revolutionary club, and women from royal family. Okay, now here, if you have read the textbook, if you have read each and every picture, it will be easy for you to answer. Now the answer for this question is, yes, and so the answer for this question is the A option, women queuing up at a bakery. This is the right option. So this way you'll be given a picture and you will be clicking against the right option. You can attempt this question only and only if you go through the pictures that is given in the textbook. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you all. Now let us move on to the next question. Okay, you will be having a question that is, arrange the following in the correct sequence. This is like arranging the events in a chronological order. Okay, so here I have given you one question wherein we have 4 sentences. Women in France won the right to vote. Peasants revolt in the countryside. Napoleon annexes large part of Europe. And the last one is Louis XVI was executed publicly. Now, 4 sentences are there. You have to arrange this in a proper sequence, that is ascending sequence. Now, just reading this sentence, you cannot arrange them. What you have to know is the year related to this events. You have to remember the dates where this event took place. Okay, so it is very much important to attempt this questions also. Such types of question, you got to know the year also. See here, for your information, see, only sentence will be mentioned in the question paper. Year is not mentioned, nor you are supposed to mention the years. Here, just for explanation purpose, I have written dates over here. Now, look at this. Where's my brush? I'll just take my brush. Yes. Now, see the first one. Women in France won the right to vote 1946. This event took place in 1946. Second event, peasants revolts in the countryside, that took place in 1789. Napoleon annexes the large part of Europe, took place in 1804. And the last one is Louis XVI was executed publicly in 1793. Now we are going to arrange this according to their ascending order. So which sentence will be coming first? Which sentence you're going to write first? Yeah, absolutely right. The second one. Yeah, see here, the second sentence, the B sentence is took place in 1700. Even the last one in the 1700, but this took in 1789, and this one is in 1793. So, and the third sentence will be Napoleon annexes, that is in 1800, and the last one will be 1946. So this way you are going to arrange the sentence, that is sequence, in a chronological or ascending order. So this types of question also we will be having. See here, you're not going to type anything. You're going to just click it. Okay, over there. You're going to just click it. Yeah. Now, so this type of questions also we'll be having for your exam. So here you need to just memorize the years and the events, nothing else, not the whole test book. Okay, children, I think so you must have understand it. It's very easy. Just a little more hard work is required, nothing else. So we will stop over here in this session, and we will meet in the next session, and we'll complete our revision lesson, and we will begin with the new question type. Thank you, and take care, and do study.